Success doesn't just show up one day and knock on your door. It doesn't come with a big sign or a clear path. Success starts in a quiet moment, when you finally decide that enough is enough, when you realize that no one is coming to fix your life for you. It begins the day you choose to stop waiting and start becoming. That's the moment things change. Because the truth is, no matter what you've been through or how far behind you think you are, your future starts the second you decide to take ownership of your life. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more time. You need to make a choice. A choice to stop blaming the world. Stop blaming your past. Stop blaming people who didn't show up for you and take full control of what you do next. That's the turning point. That's where the power is. Because the people who win in life are not always the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. They're the ones who took full responsibility. They're the ones who got up one more time, who didn't wait for permission, and who kept moving when others stopped. You are not stuck because of your situation. You are stuck because of your standards. When you raise them, everything begins to shift. When you start demanding more from yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, that's when your life takes off. But it starts with you, not your circumstances, not your background, not your environment. You, because until you decide to change, nothing else will. If you want to know what it really takes to become your best self, this is it. You're going to learn how to stop getting in your own way, how to remove what holds you back, how to build the mindset, the habits, the clarity and the discipline that will lead you forward even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. This is about rebuilding yourself from the inside out, and it's time to begin. Part 1. Take full responsibility for your life. There comes a moment in life when you stop pointing fingers. You stop blaming your past. You stop blaming your parents. You stop blaming where you were born or what they didn't teach you in school. And in that moment, you wake up. That's the day your life begins to change. That's the day you start to grow up in the deepest way possible. That's the moment you realize no one is coming to save you, and no one needs to, because you have what it takes, right here, right now, to build something better. But it starts with one hard truth. You are responsible for your life. That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, because we all want a reason for why we've been stuck, why we feel behind, why we don't have what we want. And sometimes the reasons are real. Maybe someone hurt you. Maybe you were overlooked. Maybe no one showed you. But if you carry that pain around and make it your identity, you'll never move forward. You'll stay stuck in the story, repeating it over and over until it becomes who you are. That's not freedom. That's a prison. The difference between the people who stay stuck and the people who rise up is not intelligence, it's not luck, it's not talent, it's ownership. It's the ability to look in the mirror and say, even if it's not my fault, it is still my responsibility. And when you accept that, something changes in you. You stop wasting energy on things outside your control, and you start putting that same energy into the only thing you can control, yourself. You control your attitude. You control your choices. You control what you do next. That's your power. It's not always easy. In fact, it's almost never easy. But it is worth it. Because when you take full responsibility for your life, you stop waiting for someone to open a door. You build one. You stop looking for permission. You give it to yourself. You stop needing approval. You start trusting your own judgment. Every person you admire, every success story you've ever heard, they all have one thing in common. They reached a point where they stopped waiting. They made a decision. They looked around at their life and said, this is not enough for me. And they didn't complain about it. They didn't post about it. They did something about it because they knew one thing, no one is coming. And that's okay. Because you are capable, you are built for more. And when you live with that level of ownership, you begin to rise. It shows in how you speak, how you carry yourself, how you approach problems. People can feel it, they trust it. Because there's something powerful about a person who doesn't play the victim, someone who knows their worth and takes full control of their actions. It's rare, but it's magnetic. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you won't struggle. It doesn't mean you'll always get it right, but it means you don't run when things get tough. You stand up, you adapt, you grow, and that builds real confidence, the kind that can't be taken from you because it's earned, one small choice at a time. You don't have to change everything overnight, but you do need to take one area of your life you're not happy with and stop blaming anything or anyone outside of yourself. Then ask, what can I do about it? That's the question that starts the transformation. This world is full of people who talk, people who dream, people who complain. But the ones who rise, the ones who make an impact, they're the ones who take full responsibility for their mind, for their habits, for their time, for their future. They don't look for rescue. They become their own rescue. And in doing that, they inspire others to do the same. So if you're serious about becoming your best self, it starts here. No more excuses. No more waiting. No more stories about what could have been. The power is in your hands. Use it. Now take a deep breath and make a decision that the rest of your life will be the result of your best effort, not your worst excuses. Because success isn't something that shows up one day. It's something that's built daily by people who take full ownership of everything they are and everything they're becoming. You can be that person. Starting now, Part 2. Build habits that match the life you want. Once you've accepted responsibility for your life, the next question is simple. Now what? Where do you go from here? And the answer is always the same. You start building habits that match the future you say you want. That means no more living on autopilot, no more wasting days waiting for the right time. The life you want isn't out there waiting. It's being built right now by the choices you make every single day. If your habits don't match your goals, your dreams will always stay out of reach. You don't need to change everything at once, but you do need to get serious. Start by asking yourself, what does the best version of me do daily? What time does that version of me wake up? How do they think? How do they speak? How do they move through the world? Then compare that to how you're living now. That gap is where the work begins. You close that gap with consistent, committed action. Success doesn't come from what you do sometimes. It comes from what you do repeatedly. It comes from the way you treat your mornings, from how you talk to yourself, from what you choose to prioritize even when no one's watching. Small habits might seem insignificant at first, but over time they shape your character, they become your identity, they define your direction, and that direction determines your future. If you want to become your best self, you can't live like everyone else. You can't make decisions based on comfort or popularity. You have to think long term. You have to do the things today that your future self will thank you for. And that takes discipline. That takes vision. That takes courage. Build habits that strengthen your mind. Make reading a daily ritual, even if it's just 10 pages. Learn something new every day, something that stretches your thinking, that makes you better. Limit the distractions, protect your energy. Learn to say no to the things that don't serve you. And show up even on the days you don't feel like it, especially on those days, because discipline built in discomfort is the foundation of true growth. You won't always be motivated, but your habits will carry you when your motivation fades. The right habits will keep you moving forward when life gets messy, when emotions get loud, when doubt creeps in. They're your anchor, they're your guide, and they remind you who you're becoming, even when the outside world doesn't see it yet. And don't wait for someone to tell you what to do. Get curious, study success, study behavior, pay attention to the people who are living with purpose and look at what they do consistently. You'll find that it's not some secret trick. It's usually the basics, done with excellence, done without fail. You want more confidence? Start keeping your promises to yourself. You want more income? Study money and build discipline around spending. You want more energy? Fix your sleep, move your body, eat clean. Every area of your life is a reflection of your habits. You can't escape that, but the beauty is, you're not stuck. You can change, and it starts with a decision to align your daily actions with your highest values. Nobody becomes great by accident. You don't become fit without effort. You don't become wise without learning. You don't become respected without character. And you don't become successful without habits that match the life you're chasing. So ask yourself today, what's one habit I can add that moves me forward? What's one habit I need to remove that's holding me back? Then commit, not for a week, not for a month. Commit to becoming the person who lives that habit out day after day. This is how you move closer to your best self, not by waiting for the right season, but by preparing now, by training now, by showing up now. The world doesn't need more people with big dreams and no habits. It needs people who back their goals with real action. You are the builder, the architect, the driver, and it all starts with what you choose to do, not once in a while, but every single day. Part 3, cut off everything that weakens you. If you want to become your best self, you have to get serious about what you allow into your life. There are people, habits, distractions, even thoughts that feel harmless but quietly steal your strength. You may not notice it at first, but over time they drain your drive, your clarity, and your self-respect. And if you don't cut them off, they'll keep you stuck in cycles you were meant to grow out of. This part isn't about being harsh, it's about being honest. If something makes you weaker, less focused, more distracted, it has no place in the life you're trying to build. That means anything that confuses your priorities, messes with your peace, or pulls you into old versions of yourself needs to go. The moment you stop tolerating the things that weaken you is the moment you reclaim your strength. You don't owe your time to people who don't respect it. You don't have to stay connected to someone just because of the past. And you don't have to entertain conversations that go nowhere. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's smart, because your time is limited, your focus is sacred, and your growth depends on the space you give it. There are habits that feel comfortable but cost you progress. Scrolling aimlessly, gossiping, complaining, wasting hours on entertainment that doesn't grow you. All of it chips away at your potential. And if you let those habits become your norm, they'll silently shape your life in ways you won't notice until it's too late. You can't afford that, not if you're serious about becoming who you were meant to be. Cutting off what weakens you is an act of leadership. It means you value your future more than your feelings. It means you're willing to be misunderstood, maybe even judged for making uncommon decisions. But that's what it takes to rise. The road to your best self is not always loud or glamorous. It's built in those quiet moments when you choose discipline over distraction, clarity over chaos, purpose over comfort. Start by paying attention. What drains you mentally? What takes your attention but gives you nothing in return? What throws you off track? What makes you second guess your value? These things might show up as people, apps, behaviors, or environments, but whatever form they take, the solution is the same. Remove them. Or at the very least, reduce your exposure. Don't make room for what keeps you small. You can't soar while dragging the weight of what you've outgrown. You have to travel light. You have to be willing to separate yourself from patterns and people that no longer fit your purpose. That's the cost of real growth. But the reward is peace, clarity, power, direction. This is the season of discipline, the season of pruning. And it might feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel alone. You might wonder if it's worth it. But when you start to feel stronger, sharper, more in control of your path, you'll know you made the right choice. Because nothing feels better than knowing you're finally living like the person you always knew you could be. Be ruthless about your focus. Be careful with your time. Be selective with your energy. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You just need to be honest about what strengthens you and what doesn't. Your future deserves a stronger version of you, a clearer version of you, a more intentional version of you. So make the cut, set the boundary, protect your momentum. The next level of your life will demand a new level of you, and it starts with removing anything that doesn't align. Part 4, develop a clear vision and ruthless focus. When your life feels scattered, when your days feel unproductive, it's usually because you haven't gotten specific about what you want. Clarity creates direction. Without a vision, your energy gets pulled in every direction and nothing sticks. You stay busy, but you don't move forward. You work hard, but you don't feel fulfilled. That's what happens when you live by reaction instead of intention. You need to stop letting the world decide your schedule and start letting your vision lead it. Your life only starts to change when you stop guessing and start deciding. What do you want your life to actually look like? How do you want to feel when you wake up each morning? Who do you want to become when all the distractions are gone and it's just you facing the mirror? Until you get clear on those answers, the world will keep distracting you, and people will keep pulling you in 100 directions that serve them, but not you. Developing a vision doesn't mean dreaming vague dreams. It means deciding with precision. It means setting real targets. It means sitting down with yourself and asking, what does the best version of me look like in 5 years? Not just financially, but emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Once you've got that vision in mind, write it down. Speak it. Think it. Every day. Act like it's already yours, because if you don't take your vision seriously, nobody else will. Now, once you've got clarity, the next step is focus. Not the kind that lasts for 5 minutes and gets distracted by the next notification. I'm talking about ruthless focus. The kind where you start cutting out anything that doesn't help you build the life you just imagined. You have to train yourself to see through the noise of social media, the noise of opinions, the noise of negativity. It's all just clutter, unless it pushes you closer to your purpose. Every time you say yes to something small, you're saying no to something big. And most people don't realize how often they're trading their future for a moment of comfort or approval. That's why focus is not just about what you give your time to, it's about what you say no to. Real focus means removing the distractions on purpose, not because you have to, but because your life is too valuable to waste. There's a difference between motion and progress. A lot of people are always doing something, but they're not going anywhere. That's because they're not locked in on a clear direction. When your mind knows exactly what it's aiming for, it filters out the junk automatically. That's how you start to build momentum. You wake up with intention. You don't waste time trying to figure out what to do. You already know and you go do it. If you've ever felt like life was passing you by, or you weren't living up to your potential, that's not a lack of ability, it's usually a lack of vision and focus. And the good news is you can change that today. You can stop drifting and start steering. You can stop reacting and start deciding, but only if you choose to sit down, get quiet, and define what really matters to you. Vision is not a luxury. It's a requirement. And focus isn't just for successful people, it's how they became successful in the first place. The difference between the person who lives fully and the one who just gets by isn't luck or talent. It's clarity and follow-through. That's it. The one who wins is the one who stops waiting for motivation and starts living by vision every single day. If your life feels scattered or stuck, start here. Write the vision. Set your focus. Defend it like your future depends on it, because it does. You are capable of so much more than you've shown the world so far. And deep down, you know it, you feel it. That fire inside you, that frustration, that urge to do something bigger with your life, that's not noise. That's your potential trying to get your attention. So focus on that. Block out the noise. Refuse to let another day pass in confusion or distraction. Get clear. Get serious. And most of all, stay locked in. The life you want isn't out of reach. It's just waiting for you to stop chasing everything and finally commit to one thing, becoming your best self on purpose. Part 5, show up every day no matter how you feel. This is the piece that separates the dreamers from the doers. This is where the real shift happens. Because having a vision is powerful. Building habits is important. Cutting off distractions is necessary. But none of it matters if you don't show up. Not once in a while. Not only when you feel inspired. Every day. Success doesn't ask if you're in the mood. Growth doesn't wait until you feel motivated. And results don't care if you're tired, bored, or frustrated. That's the brutal truth. Your emotions can't be the driver of your life. Your commitment has to be, because when it comes to becoming your best self, the magic isn't found in big dramatic moments. It's hidden in the ordinary ones. The days when you're tired, but you keep going. The days when you're discouraged, but you still give your best. That's when character is built. That's when self-respect is earned. You don't get strong by reading about strength. You get strong by showing up when it's uncomfortable. You get strong by doing the right thing even when no one sees it. That kind of discipline transforms you. It rewires how you see yourself. It builds a track record that proves to your mind, I follow through. I don't quit on myself. And when you begin to believe that about yourself, everything changes. Most people never reach their potential because they're only showing up when life is easy. They wait for motivation like it's a bus they need to catch. But motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. The people who win are the ones who build their life on discipline, not emotion. They build routines that don't need to be negotiated. They make showing up their identity, not just their strategy. You want to feel better about yourself? Show up. You want to build confidence? Keep your word to yourself. You want to change your life? Stop giving yourself an option to back out every time it's uncomfortable. Start making your actions louder than your excuses. Because at the end of the day, your feelings don't build your future, your habits do. There will be days when you feel like quitting, days when you wonder if any of it is working, days when progress feels invisible and growth feels slow. But that's where transformation is happening, whether you see it or not. Real growth is quiet. Real change takes time. You don't notice a tree growing every day, but one day it's towering above everything around it. That's how personal growth works too. You have to trust the process. You have to keep showing up when it's boring. You have to stay committed when it's lonely. You have to keep your energy sharp even when your results are small. Because if you only train on the days you feel good, you'll never get good. The best version of you is forged in discipline, not hype, not emotion, but choice. Daily, quiet, powerful choice. And over time, those choices add up. That one day you didn't skip your reading, that one workout you didn't cancel, that one promise you kept when it would have been easier to let it slide, those moments shape who you become. Those decisions build the version of you you've been dreaming about. The difference between people who build lives they're proud of and people who stay stuck isn't talent. It's daily effort. Relentless effort. Effort when no one is watching. Effort when it doesn't feel exciting. Effort when it would be easier to quit. If you make it your standard to show up regardless of mood, you will outlast and outperform almost everyone around you. Because most people are relying on how they feel. You're relying on who you're becoming. So if today feels tough, good. That's when your breakthrough is closest. If your energy is low but you still showed up, you've already won. That's proof of who you're becoming. You're becoming dependable. You're becoming committed. You're becoming someone your future self can count on. And in the end, that's what real success looks like. Not just reaching the goal, but becoming the kind of person who is willing to work for it when no one else would. Success starts with you. It always has, but it finishes with who you choose to be every day. Don't wait for life to be easier. Decide to get stronger. Don't wait for the mood to strike. Choose action anyway. Your future isn't created in some big flashy moment. It's built right here, right now, with the next choice you make, the next time you show up, the next step you take, even if it's small. So stand tall, show up. Be the one who honors their word. Be the one who pushes when it's tough. Be the one who earns their own respect, one disciplined day at a time. Because if you keep showing up like that, no matter how you feel, you won't just become your best self, you'll become unstoppable. It all comes down to this: no one is going to do it for you. No one is going to push you harder than life itself. And life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It moves with or without you. The hard truth is, no matter how much advice you hear, no matter how much inspiration you collect, the only thing that will ever change your life is the decision to take control of it. That moment where you stop blaming, stop wishing, and start working. Not one day, not next week. Now, success isn't built overnight. It's built moment by a person who refuses to quit, even when it hurts. It's built by someone who chooses to improve instead of complain, who shows up instead of shrinking back, who cuts off distractions and builds focus like their life depends on it, because it does. Becoming your best self is not about reaching a perfect version of you. It's about becoming the strongest, clearest, most honest version of you.